You're listening to the John and Heidi Show. Now, featuring the wit and wisdom of Dan Ferris.
Okay, dudes, let's walk this sucker.
On Sunny 93.3.
It's the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Ferris on a Thunder Road Thursday. Hey, Dan, how you doing?
Hey, pretty darn good. Man, I went past Thunder Road. I went Saturday, I think it was. Man, parking lot just packed.
Oh, yeah. That's a busy place.
Just families, kids, and
people,
moms and dads everywhere.
Yeah, people are loving that place. So
it's a very, very cool facility.
Absolutely is.
Hey, let's talk about free labor, shall we?
Hey.
We shall.
Intern programs. Have you guys ever had an intern?
You know, we did.
We've had How did that work out?
Good. Yeah, we've had.
Oh,
I thought they were good. Heidi didn't even know who they were. It's like, who's this dude that keeps hanging out in here? I'm like, he's our intern.
Yeah, I've certainly worked at companies that have, intern programs going up, but just once was I personally responsible for one during an entire summer.
Oh,
it was a radio show I did years ago when I was a childhood star. We had a summer intern, wanted to get into broadcasting. And honest to goodness, I think he joined us right after school let out in June, and he was with us until, probably early September or whatever. And then I had to fill out paperwork when the internship was done. And that's the first time I actually knew his name because I just called him intern guy.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Great kid. Ended up as a sportscaster in Las Vegas, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was just a blast. Yeah, and he would do anything we asked him to do. Oh. I had him on the bridge over I-29 on 41st Street directing traffic at a Pope hat one morning. I need you to put this on, grab this mic, go out. Okay. It was awesome.
Somehow this has to do with internships.
It had nothing to do with internship, but he would just do whatever we told him to do, and it was absolutely awesome. Gosh,
nice.
Darn it, I miss him.
Well, that's cool.
Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, born this day. She was Jackie Kennedy.
I liked her.
She
was just so classy.
Very classy, but there was just kind of an aura of, I guess, a little sad, a little troubled, maybe.
Yeah.
Huh.
I guess.
I never thought of that, but yeah, I suppose.
But yeah, she kept it together pretty well. On Becky, Lori Laughlin, who's had her share of this, that, and the other thing the past couple of years. She's,
inmate number 74335.
She's 58 today. What did they call that? That scandal?
Oh, Varsity Blues.
Varsity Blues, right.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah, paying off people to let her schlonko kids in the door to universities.
Yeah.
That's right. And Gloria from All in the Family, Sally Struthers, 75 today.
Oh,
Did she do anything beyond
did some
All in the
infomercials?
Family?
Yeah. Did some infomercials. She did some movies.
Okay, I remember infomercials, but I don't remember any other TV series with her.
No, there were some movies that she did. There was one I just watched.
Thigh Master.
Oh, yeah.
She was the Thigh Master.
No, that was Susan Summers.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Suzanne Summers.
Yeah, that's who that is.
Yeah.
No, your blonde sitcom.
Yeah,
stuff.
Sorry.
Heidi's way off.
I'm ashamed and embarrassed.
Wow. We have to mansplain this female
Mansplain.
TV show stuff to Heidi.
Wow.
No, she was in a movie that I just watched not too long ago, and it was a really different part for her, and it was kind of like a scary movie, and I won't say what happened, but it was very interesting. So
Holy cow.
yeah.
It was 19, that's okay. Sure was, John.
Dan is lost in his notes.
1956, and this is always surprising to me when I come across this, but the phrase, "In God We Trust," legally becomes the national motto for the United States of America.
Yeah.
They would never let that happen today, whoever they are. Well, you know who you are.
Well, it was Eisenhower that was when he was president.
Cool.
Kind of pushed for that.
Absolutely fantastic. In 1958, taking all kinds of grief, trash talk, lip service, and aggravation for allowing the Soviet Union to launch the first satellite into orbit, U.S. President Dwight Eisenhower signs legislation creating NASA.
Mm-hmm.
National Aeronautics and Space Administration.
I had a guest from NASA on the radio this last weekend.
Pretty amazing organization. Been completely disassembled at this point. I think they're putting it back together, though.
Working on it. Yeah.
And in 1945, what an amazing story. This day, 1945, heavy fog causes a U.S. bomber plane to hit the Empire State Building.
Oh, yeah.
It breaks some cables supporting an elevator, which happened to be occupied by Miss Betty Lou Oliver. Betty falls 75 stories, free fall 75 stories, survives.
Oh, my gosh.
Still the world's record for longest survived elevator fall.
Oh my gosh.
That's a competition.
I don't
But
think anyone's trying to beat that.
75 stories. They nicknamed her Elevator Girl.
Oh
bet.
my gosh.
Yep, she jumped up and went, ta-da!
I doubt she did that. Probably no jumping up after that.
75 stories. Holy cats. Well, I know, that's amazing stuff. We can all just bounce ahead here.
Gonna do that. It is the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Ferris.
Whoa, what's going on here?
It's your Mintervention, sweetie.
My what?
I'm with Mint Mobile. Your family and friends are concerned about your expensive wireless plan.
I don't even have Mint Mobile.
And we want to fix that. Right now, you're paying too much. With Mint Mobile, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month.
Really?
Yeah. Get nationwide coverage for less. Plans start at just $15 a month.
Learn more now at Mintervention.com. Coverage not available in all areas. New activation and a 3-month plan required. Additional restrictions may apply. See terms at Mintervention.com. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Super excited to visit today with Lieutenant Colonel retired Dan Hampton. Dan, how are you, sir?
I am fabulous. Thanks for the invitation.
We're excited to visit with you. You've got a brand new book out, and it's called Valor. Let's talk a little bit about this book and the history of where this came from.
Absolutely. Ask anything you like.
So it's not your first book, but it's your latest book. So what was the thing that made you decide this is the time to write this particular book?
Yeah, I think it's actually number 8. Who would have thought, right?
Yeah.
What happened was I was researching the book that came out prior to this, Vengeance, which was about the mission that killed Admiral Yamamoto in 1943. And I came across Bill's dad, who was a Marine general serving on Guadalcanal. And fathers and sons who fight in the same wars, is always kind of intriguing. I made a note of it. And then when time came to look for another subject to write on, I dug around and found out more about Bill, got a hold of his daughter, and she gave me a 1,500-page manuscript that he had written after the war. And it was, I got to tell you, it's just a fabulous document because I'm inside this guy's head. I get to see what he saw, hear what he heard, that sort of thing. And the book more or less wrote itself. And I think it's a great tribute to a great man.
I think that is fantastic. And when you sit down to write a book like this, when it's about a real person, about a real family, and you're putting all of this together, how difficult is that to make sure you get it right and you do well by them?
Well, that's always a prime concern, and I make that clear to them before I ever start, writing. I have to write a proposal for each book, so it's been thought out and fleshed out. And everything in this book, for example, all the first-person quotes, everything else, came out of Bill's mouth. It was all from that manuscript. And I always strive for accuracy because I think, if it's not accurate, then it's fiction. And fiction's fine, but, I'm writing nonfiction, and I owe it to these guys to get the truth out.
And, again, this is not the first book, but it's your latest book. And as you've been doing this, has it gotten easier to do, or has it gotten harder to do?
Yes and no. It's gotten easier because I've got a system down like all authors do. What works for them. So I've got a good process and I know how to go about it and what to do. It's getting harder, to be honest, because I think I've done a book a year now for 9 years, and I need a break.
Oh, yeah.
But I keep coming across these fascinating subjects and topics, and I just can't seem to stop writing, which is good for me, and people seem to enjoy the book, so I'm happy to keep doing it.
So what does that process look like? Do you typically go out and find the next story, or does somebody reach out to you and say, hey, I'm a big fan of your books, and this story is amazing, but boy, you got to hear this story about my uncle, my grandpa, my whatever. What does that process look like?
Yeah, people do that. Those don't really work out because, understandably, people are excited about their own family and something fabulous that, that a relative has done. But writing is a business, and I have to look at it from the standpoint of something that I know will sell. And that's certainly the way my agent looks at it. You have to marry the creative process and a great story with something that's commercially viable. And so it's always kind of a blend. So it's usually something that I've come across, something that's obscure and, I've made a note about, like I mentioned earlier. And I usually have a pretty good feel for what my agent thinks can sell, and then between us we get together and he says, no, that won't work, what about this? And I'll tell him, no, I don't want to do that, what about this? We go back and forth, and we have eventually agree on a topic and go from there.
Now, you've got several books available. I'm going to actually throw a link to all of these so folks can find every one of your books. And I think when they see Valor, if they read that and they fall in love with that, they're going to probably want to read more. So I'll make it really easy for them to find all of that. Do you have another book in the works right now, or what does that look like for the future for Mr. Dan Hampton?
Oh, yeah, I always have another book in the works. I've got kids in private schools. I don't have a choice. Yes, I do, as a matter of fact, and it's another World War II story about an aspect of the Doolittle raid that has not been written about. So that should be pretty interesting, and I'm supposed to finish it sometime next year.
Well, I hope we get a chance to chat with you about that book when it comes out as well, sir.
Hey, anytime you like. It's always a pleasure, and I'm happy to chat with anyone who wants to talk about riding or flying or both.
Very, very nice. Thank you so much for your time today, and thank you for your service as well, sir.
My pleasure, and I hope you have a good morning there in Sioux Falls.
Thank you again, sir. Have a great day.
Excellent. Thanks.
Again, our guest today has been Dan Hampton. His latest book is called Valor. I'm going to throw a link on our Facebook page with that book and also a place where you can find all of his books, facebook.com/sunnyradio and facebook.com/Sioux Falls News.
Join us in October for The Sands, a week of music and fun that's been described as the best week ever by many of our guests. This year, we have more icons and more fun. Culture Club, The Cult, Loverboy, Belinda Carlisle, Lou Graham, Vanilla Ice, Samantha Fox, Firehouse, and many more. Plan to join us October 25th through the 30th at Planet Hollywood Beach Resort in Cancun, Mexico. This all-inclusive event will be the time of your life. Learn more now at radiotravelgroup.com.
And now stuff Dan finds interesting. Yeah.
It is time for Stuff Dan Finds Interesting. Dan, what do you find interesting on this Thunder Road Thursday?
Well, the past couple of years, the United States has become pretty nomadic. A lot of people picking up stakes and moving and going here and there.
I've met a lot of new people that have moved here. Bunches
yes.
of them.
Oh, yes.
Tons of them.
We're pretty popular. A lot of people moving to Texas. Florida has become very, very popular the past couple of years. So maybe you're thinking to yourself, well, what are the 100 best cities in the country to move to?
Yeah, what are they, Dan?
Well, they actually release a list every year.
Do you have this list?
I do happen to have
Whoa.
this list.
Okay.
So
who do you know and how do you get this information?
Thanks, John, for giving me this article. Wow. You are just a thorn in my side.
You didn't really have to tell him I sent it to you.
Now I did. And this surprised me. I've been there, and while it is lovely, it is absolutely lousy with hippies, but the number one city in the country, according to people who compile this stuff, and it has to do with housing and economy and blah, 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 all the usual statistics, it is Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah. It's a beautiful place.
Wisconsin. It's it's a big university town. And,
a lot of squirrels there, I can tell you.
And it thrives. Ann Arbor, Michigan is at number 2.
Wow.
Never been.
Nor have I.
I've always liked this town. I did spend some quality time there back in the 70s and 80s, and it's number 3 on the list out of the top 100. Rochester, Minnesota. Home of the Mayo Clinic, of course. Mm-hmm. It's a lovely town. Absolutely beautiful and historic and whatever. Naperville, Illinois.
Okay, been through this right by Chicago.
Overland Park, Kansas at number 5.
Been there.
And I can argue this all day long, and how they keep making top 10 lists is beyond me, and it's a shame because it is my hometown. Minneapolis, Minnesota is at number 7.
Okay.
You couldn't pay me to move back there.
Yeah. I know some people who just moved back there.
And I've still got brothers. I still have family who live there, and without fail, they go, "We should have left when you did."
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there.
There's a lot going on.
Well, it's more like if you're doing the touristy part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's pretty phenomenal. They got a lot of things to offer.
Yeah.
But it's like when you go to
Someone's paying for that, taxes and whatnot.
say you go to the Bahamas. Say you go to Nassau, the Bahamas. You stay on the ocean front. You don't go into town.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole different world.
Yeah, it is.
Same with the Twin Cities.
Yeah.
Fishers, Indiana. Never heard of it. That's at number 7. Salt Lake City, Utah, number 8.
I want to go there. Never been there.
In Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at 9. That surprises me too.
Wow.
Really?
Carmel, Indiana is at number 10. We'll stop there, except where's Sioux Falls?
Yeah, I was expecting Sioux Falls to land on there somewhere.
Actually, it's not too shabby. We clock in at number 38.
Well, that's not so bad.
Out of 100, and when you consider there's thousands and thousands of options, and you make the top 100 list, that ain't bad.
Not bad at all.
So 38, but yeah, I would like to say I follow the Minneapolis thing. In fact, a friend of mine just spent a 3-day weekend in Minneapolis. And they said couldn't get out of there fast enough.
Oh, yeah.
So it's things change, things morph, whatever. So
Absolutely.
there you go. Found that interesting.
I can see why. It is a Thunder Road Thursday. Should we announce a winner for Thunder
It's
Road
$25
Thursday?
gift card at Thunder Road. Fantastic facility. You can spend the whole darn day there.
Yeah,
Have a
you
blast.
could. You could be there all day and you wouldn't get bored because there's so many things to do. You could do different stuff all the time. So, who's our winner?
Well, that's a great question, John.
Didn't I tell you the winner? Or did
You
I?
sure didn't, John.
Oh, let me. Now I see.
You may think I'm playing dumb, but I'm not playing at all. I literally have no idea.
I see the folly of my ways. I forgot to hit send on this email. All right. Hey, how about I announce this winner?
That'd be fun.
That'd be great.
Yeah, take a swing at it there,
All
Shooter.
right. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for our Thunder Road Thursday winner, Katie Travis.
Woo! Very good.
Hey, Katie, congrats. We'll get that off into the mail.
I sent it to Dan, so it'll actually get sent in the mail.
And it will. Yes. I have access to stamps and a pen and everything.
There's some people who won this in like May, and they just got their card like last week because I finally forwarded all those to Dan. So I apologize. Dan is really on the job here, and I am not.
Which should frighten everyone if I'm the responsible one.
Isn't that weird? I know. Well, Dan, thanks for coming in, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
It is the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Ferris.
What can I say that I haven't already said about BetterCreditCards.com? It's a website. You go there to get a better credit card. Okay, that's really probably all I need to say for most of you, but I still have time left, so how about this? At BetterCreditCards.com, we have different kinds of credit cards, some with better points and perks, some designed to help you build your credit. Whatever stage of life you happen to be in, we want to help. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Thursday, July 28th, 2022. The rebound on Wall Street extended Wednesday following a policy announcement from the FOMC. They hiked their key rate by 75 basis points as expected and downgraded its assessment of the economy, which is less than the whisper numbers. The committee also said additional hikes would be appropriate at the next few meetings, which put interest rates on track to hit 3% or higher by the end of the year. The takeaway for the market is the pace of hikes may slow over the next two meetings. While many of the pundits think we're seeing the peak of inflation and FOMC interest action, that outlook is far from assured. The PCE price index, due out on Friday, is expected to accelerate by 20 basis points month over month at the core level, and it could come in higher. Worse, the outlook given by the bulk of the S&P 500 companies, including defensive consumer staple companies, is more price hikes and higher inflation are on the way. The key takeaway from all of this is that corporate margins will continue to be under pressure and the cost of doing business and making large purchases is on the rise. You can get the inside track at marketbeatminute.com.